Meet Will and Tom, two seemingly ordinary men, cursed with a gift of vast knowledge that is forever expanding. Possessing incredible insight with unparalleled skills and expertise. Let us join them as they embark on a journey to quench their thirst for the truth while answering the questions to life's most intriguing mysteries. Let us open our minds and ask, dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I pray to the God of podcasts. Please hear your servant's plea. Bless us with another great episode. May the editing be smooth and unproblematic. Provide us with an abundance of listeners. O great Lord of all podcasts, I offer you this sacrifice in return. May their soul rise to you and serve you for all eternity. Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
And this is Will Stark.
Will, at the top of the show, I just wanted to remind everyone that our DCYI glass set giveaway is still going on. You have until May 4th.
All right.
Yeah, May 4th. We've gotten a few entries in already, but more details on that later on in the show. Let's get on to the first question, shall we?
Right into it. Okay, let's do it.
Right into this, Will. Okay, this one I thought would be very interesting. We kind of touched on this subject. Well, not this actual subject, but we kind of danced around certain things about this subject matter.
Okay.
But the question is, what if you can be the god of something? What would you be the god of?
Okay.
So let me, just in case, I know it sounds simple, but it might be a little confusing.
Parameters, please.
Yeah, the parameters are, you can be the deity of one thing, whether it be an object or something abstract.
Okay, is this like an uppercase or lowercase g god?
This is gonna be an uppercase G.
Okay,
right?
All right.
What's the difference between your uppercase G and the lowercase G?
So uppercase G is like almost an unfathomable being, like a being like, and so inherently powerful. Like, I don't know. Let's say I was the upper G god of plant life. Like, literally, like, plants everywhere would do my whim on the spot. I could affect plants all over the planet in an instant. Like, I could.
I see. Okay, I think I get what you mean. Let me ask you this then. This will clear it up. Mm-hmm. What do you consider the Greek pantheon of gods?
Definitely a lower G.
Okay,
not even close to an upper
then
G.
This is lower G.
Okay,
because this is how I picture this question, right? Gotcha. So lower G, right? So you could be the deity of one thing, whether it be an object or something abstract, etc. But you have all influence over whatever it is, including if you would like humans to worship you for it, or while using it, or to gain favor for the outcome of whatever this may be, etc. So that's pretty much the parameters of this. So it's lowercase g, God, right?
Lowercase g,
God.
God.
You're not the all-encompassing.
Am I choosing what I want? Is that what we're doing here? Am I choosing what I want, or am I choosing what I think I would be? Like, if like, I guess in some fantasy, like when characters are raised to godhood, like whatever their strongest
whatever they
affinity
exhibit,
is,
right?
whatever their strongest
whatever
affinity is the thing they become the god of. So it's less of a choice.
You know what? That sounds more interesting to me than what you could. But let's delve into both. But let's first go with like what you feel your greatest affinity to something would be. Like this is what you grow into godhood.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, we could start there. Another question is, you said something about worship. What would the purpose of the worship be? Is it just because I want it, or is it like, does it serve a purpose?
So you don't have to have that. It could be if you just want it, right? You know what I mean? That could also be it. Mm-hmm. But mainly I put that in there because what if you chose something or feel like it's like, what if it was just like an object or some type of a tool, maybe, whatever, that someone uses, and you know how sometimes people are like, oh God, let me let me get the outcome I want from this. They
I'm
pray
the god,
to a god.
I'm the god of baseball bats.
yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? Like a baseball player goes up and maybe before he's like, dear, like God, give me the strength to hit that home
dear
run with
baseball
this bat.
Bill, please bless this bat.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, great right. William of the baseball. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Okay. That's so funny. What was your third parameter? I remember you said worshipers.
So worshippers. Well, that was basically it. It could be anything. Like I said, an object to something abstract. You do have all influence over whatever you pick. So
what does that mean?
So that's where it kind of gets a little confusing of what you were describing about the uppercase G and the lowercase G. So you do have the ability that let's say you did choose baseball bats, right? You have the ability that you are the god over all baseball bats. So if maybe you didn't like this person and maybe he cursed your name or whatever and you didn't like him, this baseball player, well, when he goes up to hit this ball, you make the bat break and the ball barely goes forward, counts as a hit, but he gets out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Also, it doesn't count as a hit if he gets out. That's not how that works.
Oh, I was just about to ask you because you know me in baseball, I don't really know. I was actually wondering if the ball broke, if the bat broke, but the ball went 3 yards ahead of him, would that be considered an actual hit?
Well, okay. So I think you're misunderstanding what a hit is in baseball.
Oh, okay.
A hit is when you put the ball into play and you reach base and there's not an error or a fielder's choice.
Oh, only then it's considered a hit?
Only then is it considered a hit, yes.
Oh, okay.
So,
see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, otherwise there's a name for every type of out. So that would be like a what would they call it? Like a broke bat bunt or something like that.
So the ball would be considered in play still. It wouldn't be like a foul.
It would be in play. Okay. If it went forward, it would be in play so long as it went forward before hitting the ground. If it goes straight down to the ground, there's like a line. If it doesn't, I think the batter's box has to be on the other side of the batter's box. And then it's in play. And then honestly, that could actually be a decent way to get on base if it only goes a few feet forward. Because the pitcher is going to have a hard time getting to it. And, if you can outrace the catcher, or if the catcher's trying to hold someone on third, you might have a shot. Anyways, we're way off base.
I was just about to say, well, see, maybe you should be the god of
definitely
baseball.
Definitely not. No, I am far from.
Because I didn't know any.
I'm
of that.
sure some of what I said wasn't entirely correct. But anyways, what would I choose? God damn.
Choose
Tom.
or what would be what you think your affinity I
would be. Oh, I know what I would choose because I would use my power very liberally. I would be the arbiter and. I would be the arbiter and deity of all storytelling, period, end of story.
Oh,
this way I can prevent all the really, really offensively bad book adaptations of movies from being made.
Oh, that's very interesting. I did not think of that for you. In my head, I thought you might go with something like D&D related, maybe.
Well, D&D is also storytelling.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I thought you would specifically it would just be specifically of that. You know what I mean?
No. Also remember, D&D in a lot of ways is my job at this point. So true. It's don't get me wrong, I'm still passionate about D&D, but not in the same way that I was. I don't know, rewind the clock 5-6 years ago. That being said, D&D, the main thing I love about it is storytelling. Storytelling is my favorite thing. It's been my favorite thing since I was a very, very small boy, even though I partook of stories in multiple ways that I didn't really recognize that was a thing that I was actually passionate about, right? I love video games, and as a kid, I was obsessed with video games. But being an adult now, I realized, looking back, I was obsessed with video games that had really in-depth, long stories with character development. I did not care about games like shooting games or racing games or fighting games.
Oh, okay.
Or even platformers. I was kind of on. Now I enjoy games just as much for their gameplay as their story.
Yeah.
Because I respect the art form and I think it's awesome. But as a kid, it was just all about the stories. That's why I really got into long play RPGs as a kid. But, also I was really into books. I wrote a lot of short stories as a kid just for fun. It's actually funny how much I was involved in the craft of story and storytelling without ever even thinking about it. I never really thought about I love stories. That was never a thing that I realized about myself until I was an adult, even though it was all I ever did all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't something that you thought of this is my thing.
Yeah, even as a musician, I'm writing songs and trying to tell a story via lyrics. So that in itself, like songs are like little miniature stories and so on and so forth. Obsessed with animes, obsessed with movies, obsessed with especially books, again, comic books, like any form of medium that tells a story. And if the story is well put together,
you're now that governing God.
Yeah. And the reason being, because I love those things so much. Yeah. The thing is, I'm incredibly opinionated. So I feel like there's a certain subsect of society that would be missing out on like some of their favorite media because I would obliterate it from the land.
Okay. I wanted to bring this up right now because earlier when you first started talking, you said like, oh, I would love, I would probably be the god of that so that I could get rid of these horrible stories.
Some I would get rid of, some I would fix.
Or some you would
let's
fix.
Start
right?
there. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. So you would be this type of god, like you just would make sure that all stories would come out to be good to great stories, right? You wouldn't. So it wouldn't be where like some author or someone would be, he's like, forget this great William of the literature, like, you know what I mean? Like this is not, I do not need to draw from him, right? And so like then you don't help him, so now he does have a horrible story, but it's out there.
Okay, so
right?
like here's the thing though. Here's the thing with lowercase g gods, like the art form exists without me. Zeus didn't invent thunderbolts. Nor did Thor. Like, they just have power over them. So, like, theoretically, I would have power over stories. And I would be able to be a muse to those who make stories. But a true genius, a true artist, is going to make good shit because they make good stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, as a matter of fact, isn't it in a lot of mythology that, like, a figure from the mythology, a normal person, is so prodigious at a certain thing that they become a favorite of the gods? Was Orpheus not like a favorite of Apollo because he'd made dope music, and Apollo's like, dude, I'm the god of music, I love this shit. And you're so good, and it doesn't even have anything to do with me.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
you're right.
so now you're on my squad, so now it does have something to do with me.
So you probably wouldn't have only like the people who aren't who maybe aspire and really want to be authors or whatever, storytellers, but they're just not that good. So you would be the one to go through and be like, okay, let me help you with this. Or if
think that's the type of deity I would want to be. Yeah. Someone who's a little bit more helpful. See, the thing is, I would hope that in my apotheosis to a god, that like my understanding of the art form would like widen in scope so that like I had a better understanding of quality than even I do now. Because right now, like anybody else, my opinion on quality is exactly that. It's an opinion. Yeah. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean it isn't necessarily good. Yeah. And a lot of times I'm aware enough to say that. I may not care for it, but like I respect from where it comes from, or I understand the artistry that was involved in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually do remember. I do hear you say that a lot. Like, even though I know you don't like whatever the subject matter might have been, but I do know that you will tell me like, yeah, I didn't really like it, but I understand what they're trying to get at or why they did this or made certain choices.
So I would hope that as the new god of this thing, that I would be a little bit more less judgmental when it comes to some of this stuff. But some of this stuff is getting scorched earth, like the Wheel of Time series. That's going full scorched earth. That was so. The books are amazing, and that show is so god fucking.
Would you
awful.
make it to where like would you use all the godly powers that you had to make it like it never existed?
I would cause such devastation to happen to, what was it? It was Prime TV or Prime Video.
It was Amazon Prime.
I would cause such devastation to Prime Video that they wouldn't dare try and get their hands on another book licensing for like another 20 years.
And if something like this could be true and others saw this happening, they would know like they have offended the great William.
I will say that yes, if the gods are real and people understand that they are real and that there's ways to please and displease them, and that displeasing them does result in immediate and or like severe consequences. Mm-hmm. I suppose the Wheel of Time series never would have got made, right? Because they would have known better. They would have communed with me.
Or that's true. And then you would have went and
don't fucking do it,
or at least influence them to do it better.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
In a better way.
Exactly right.
Okay, so that brings me to that part of the parameter. So you would like for them to worship you, right?
No, not necessarily. I don't want their worship. I just want them to butcher amazing stories.
Okay, maybe not worship, but like maybe pray to get your like
I'd like to be consulted with on some things.
Barbara, can you get Lord William on the phone, please?
Lord William.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
we need to make sure that he approves
this script.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
I suppose it would become tiresome though, because there would be a lot of lowbrow. I say that in a way not to be like condescending, because there's plenty of lowbrow stuff. Have you ever seen the comedy movie Your Highness? I think it's fucking amazing, and it's trash.
Wait, is that the one with James Franco and
Danny McBride?
Seth Rogen? Oh, Danny McBride too.
Yeah. I don't think Seth Rogen is in it.
I don't remember.
No,
I know James Franco.
Either way,
I like that movie. I thought it was funny.
Love that movie.
It's funny.
It's incredible, and I understand that it's trash, and I understand that all the actors are embarrassed to be a part of it. I love it.
I thought it was good.
When I say lowbrow, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of lowbrow stuff out there that I'm just like, I'm really tired of. Like, I can't go through all these scripts.
Yeah, that's
true. I'm gonna have to be discerning, and I'm gonna have to just trust the world to do what it is they do, and like I'm here for the good stuff.
Well, you know what I was thinking too is like, man, think of like certain aspects of literature that would get a boon, if you not a boon, but like a boost to their power, or something like
Lord of the Rings,
like that, or like romantic romance book novels, right? You know how cheesy those really are.
Oh yeah, they can be.
But like now, because of you, those would be sweeping, epic romantic tales. Maybe
to a certain degree, you have to understand that, like from my understanding, my limited understanding of the romance novel genre, like there's two things going on. It's not necessarily about the narrative and plot, which is kind of like, and the character development. Those are like the three things that are like super important to me when it comes to storytelling. But those are about like both escapism and erotic experience. Like porn isn't story, but it is an art form to a certain degree, and it's obviously important to society. And that's essentially what romantic literature is when we're talking about when we're talking about the romance novel genre. I mean, it serves a different purpose. It's not necessarily for a sweeping story. So like, I don't think I'm the god of that.
Yeah, you know what, that might be different.
I think I have to work with the god of that. I think there's a whole pantheon of us.
Yeah, and there would be like
I might be like in the case of this scenario, I might be like the Zeus of the story pantheon.
Like maybe yours is like the written word or something, right? And then but then there's others who do like you said, like maybe porn, where they don't really have like a written out script. It's just someone's trying to get inspired to make this type of film. I
have the god of film and the god of books and the god of like interpretive art, and then over here Bob, the god of porn. He's part of the fucking pantheon. You put respect on his name.
But he's
doing good work out here.
He's some guy in the dark corner of Mount Olympus with the dirty t-shirt on.
He's got a pencil. He's like, yes.
Oh,
that's so good.
It's
like, oh God, I don't want to go talk to Bob.
Every time somebody wants to go talk to him, they're always like, no, you go talk to him. I talked to him last time. Like, you know what I mean?
He's kind of weird.
Yeah. It smells funny in his corner.
Jesus. But as for like, I mean, I would like if I was a deity, I would like to hope that I'd be a deity who is who functions as a muse, right?
Yeah,
I want to go out there and like, hey, this dude's making really cool shit, and like all he needs is a little like exposure, a little pizzazz on his whatever. Like let me zap it with some of my book magic or whatever.
And that would be cool. And that's actually the way I always pictured that working anyway for stuff like that. But I guess
that kind of brings me actually down a level from a lowercase g god to more like a representative spirit, like an avatar of the concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is where I'd sit a little bit more comfortable. To be fair, like the Greeks still considered entities on that level gods,
Yeah.
Like the nymphs were still like little gods. And I think that's where I would like to sit. I don't necessarily want the responsibility. I just want to help make cool shit.
Oh,
like, let's make some cool stuff.
That would be cool. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like if I was forced up to like the Zeus part of this like concept, like I do my job to the best of my ability, but I think I'd really shine at this level of like, yo, I'm a story nymph.
Yeah, you don't want you're a story muse. Like,
exactly.
You don't want the whole responsibility of having to govern over this whole thing.
Yeah, and I don't want to be responsible for like, like maybe this person's successful because they got my boon, but like they're not actually that good. I don't want to really I don't want to have to think about that part, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like how much of their great story is because they had a great idea and how much was because my magic made it great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like if I'm like more like the muse spirit, it's like, no, this person has potential. They just need a little push. And then, and then there they go down the river. It's like, I just gave them that little push. The rest was all them. Like, that's kind of where I want to be.
I imagine too, imagine bards and other storytellers have to go on this journey, knowing that they're like, I'm trying to look for the famed, mythical pen of William Stark. You know what I mean? And then you leave it to certain people and only the worthy can go and get it. And once they get it, it's like they got that. You know what I mean? They got that knack.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Mine's a little different.
Yeah, let's hear yours. What's your? Oh okay, God, what did you choose?
Okay, listen, mine's a little different, and it's gonna be weird because I don't listen because I don't.
I'm just worrying. It's about to get weird.
Yeah, it's about to get weird up in here,
no.
and I don't necessarily fully understand how this would even work, right?
Okay,
but growing up, I remember having these thoughts. This is why I thought of this.
Okay,
is because obviously, nothing is always fair. Right. And you always hear the famous phrase. What is it? Life isn't always fair.
I think it's just life's not fair.
Or life's not fair. Life isn't always fair. Whatever way you say it means the same thing.
Sure.
But I remember when things like that happened and people would tell me that growing up, in my head, I would just get so angry and I would be like, and I remember I started saying this thing back to people who would say that to me. When something would happen, they would be like, you know what? Well, life's not always fair. And I'm like, yeah. And that's why I'm taking responsibility to make life fair. Right.
Okay.
I would always tell them that. Right. Because there's certain times I do understand what is meant by when people say, life's not fair, but I think a lot of people sometimes say that and it's not the correct context of when to say that.
Sure, I agree.
And when those times arise, I always thought those are the times then you need to make it fair. You know what I mean? Whether you put the responsibility on yourself or amongst a group of people or whatever, you know what I mean?
I will say you're skirting a very difficult or a very scary line because you're basically skirting the line of justice. And if you become the god of justice, I guarantee you're going to have a miserable, immortal experience.
Yeah. I already thought of about that. You know why? Because I was thinking, okay, so if I'm the quote unquote god of this, right?
God of fairness.
Of fairness, right? What does that even actually mean? Because fairness for one person may not be fairness for another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more subjective.
Yeah, and then, okay, if I'm the god of that, well, then what does that mean? Not only do I have to go around and making certain situations that seem quote unquote unfair and turn them into quote fair, right? Well, what happens then to those who do things that would, in my opinion, would be unfair? I would have to somehow chastise them or whatever.
Basically, you're the god of karma's a bitch.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
okay, well, that's interesting in that, I think, depending on your definition of fair, though, there's going to be, I would say that maybe not most, but a great deal of these situations will just end with nobody happy. Because they'll, the thing about compromising, which is kind of like the trying to make things fair, is no one's happy because no one gets what they want, right?
They only,
so maybe you would probably just be pissing off everybody. In a lot of ways.
It may not be that nobody's happy. It just nobody has reached their full potential of happiness because they would at least get a little bit of what they wanted, right? If you're compromising,
that depends. Not all situations are like that.
Yeah,
a lot of situations are. It's all or nothing depending on the situation. You know what I mean? It's not like that one story, King Solomon and the baby. You know this story?
No, I don't know that story.
I know the bare bones of it. So this story, it's in the Bible. It's an old parable, and basically, King Solomon is these two women come to King Solomon, basically claiming a baby is theirs, right?
Yeah,
and they both make equal evidence claims, right? Which is to say neither of them have great amount of evidence, but their evidence is equal. And he spends time agonizing over who to let have the baby because he doesn't want to make the wrong decision. And in his search for justice, he comes up with a solution in which he then tells both women, since I'm unable to discern who the true mother of the child is, I have to split it evenly. Thus, you can both have the child, but we must split the child in half. And then, of course, the woman who's actually the mother is horrified. She says, no, never mind. Like, she can take him, like, as long as he lives. And the other woman's like, yeah, sure, fine. Which, of course, is unrealistic. Like, no, unless they're an absolute psycho, which people like that do exist. But the point of the story is that through like a fake compromise, he's able to discern the person who truly deserved the quote unquote prize, in this case the boy, which they were the mother of. So that's an all or nothing situation. You can't just give the boy to both of them. One of them is going to be unhappy, or both of them if you're trying to make it even. If you're trying to make it even, then a lot of people aren't going to be happy, because even isn't fair, isn't always fair, and fair isn't always even.
So basically what I'm getting from this is, I'm probably not the most popular of gods.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, except for the times where you are.
Yeah. But you know what? The biggest problem I even have of this is that I understand the things about what's going to be fair or not. That's going to be up to me. It's very subjective, because like, it's only going to be from my point of view of what I think
exactly
is fair.
That's why I was saying about the story thing is, like, I hope that my ascension to godhood, like, provides me with, like, a wider scope of understanding of the thing that I'm a god of. Because, like, if it's just my limited human mind, like, no matter how well I try and go about it, I'm likely to not be very good at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think it goes double for you. Like, you're affecting people's lives. I'm just trying to make people make good stories.
Yeah, it better be to where I can, like, definitely, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe what if I was, if it was lowered down into that realm of, like, a muse, right? Because, like, when you said you wanted to be, like, okay, not maybe like Zeus type level god or whatever, but like maybe a lower level where you're a muse. You're not the responsible for everything.
Right.
Well, when that happens, there's going to be more of you. Like, there's going to be other people who are also muses too, right? So I would figure there would be other people who would be like myself, and we would probably just arrive there when
little fairness fairies.
Yeah, exactly. And when those situations arise and nobody can come to an agreement, that's when we come by.
You shoot them with your fairness arrow instead of like a Cupid arrow.
Oh, that's a good one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I'm
not being fair. Let me change.
Yeah. You know what? No, I don't know if I would love to use a bow and arrow, but I don't want to copy Cupid here.
Okay.
So I would drop fairness anvils on people's heads.
There we go.
Right?
I like that. Okay, that's interesting. I would never expected the fairness bit from you. I think this world would not necessarily be the most fun to live in.
Yeah.
In general, not just because of us, but because I think by assumption, if a god of story exists or a god of fairness exists, then other gods probably exist.
Yeah.
And like, what are the chances any of them are very nice people?
It'll be chaos.
Our mythology has shown that is probably not going to be the case.
Yeah. So. But dude, could you imagine?
Echoes from the past.
And welcome back, everybody. This is Echoes from the Past. So, Will.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about an episode that we had aired in the past, which was Season 2, Episode 8, Hench Fries and Minion Rings.
Not too long ago, right? That wasn't too long ago.
Not that long ago. Okay. I mean, this is episode, I believe, 16 or so.
Time goes by so fast.
Yeah, I know, right?
So it's been 8 weeks since then?
I think so.
No
so
way.
It's been a little
No way.
It's been a little bit.
My
you know
God.
What I mean? Wait, let me double check here. Is it?
My Lord William.
Yeah. This episode's episode 16.
Okay, all right.
So it was actually episode 8 episodes ago.
Okay.
Hench Fries and Minion Rings, where we talked about if we were able to open our own chain fast food restaurant.
Right, and I chose Willie's Wild Wieners, and you chose...
Morning, noon, and night. I forget if we said it was just morning, noon, and night, or Tom's morning, noon, and night.
I thought it was just morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, I think we fell upon morning, noon, and night. But I remember we were talking about, like, possible names. One of the names we did say was like, oh, Tom's morning, noon, and night, right? And all this stuff. And then we said, like, I think one of the premier menu items would be called Tom's Bomb or
that was just a breakfast bomb.
Yeah, it was just a breakfast bomb, right? And then we said, like, oh, and like the logo will have a sun and a moon to represent morning, noon, and night and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm driving on my way to work, right?
Morning, noon, and nights.
Yeah, dude. What do I come across but a new restaurant that's not even open yet? They just have signs saying, like, now
coming,
hiring.
soon coming?
Coming soon. So now hiring, right?
Okay.
And it's called Tom's.
Okay.
And underneath it says Tom's, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right?
That's close.
Close. And the O of Tom's is a sun.
Okay, so it's halfway there.
It's halfway there.
It's like we slipped into, like, if morning, noon, and nights existed, we slipped into the Mandela Effect universe version of this.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So what the reason I wanted to talk about is because I think I was able to push us in a different. No, just playing. No. But I do think it was very funny. I know it's not exactly the same,
but it's pretty close in a lot of odd ways.
Very close similarities. Yeah, that I'm kind of like, whoa, that's very weird.
If it had said morning, noon, and night underneath instead of breakfast, lunch, dinner, that would have been incredible. Yes, exactly.
And if they somehow also had a moon along with the sun of the O for the weird Toms, But my thing is, go ahead.
I was going to say, watch next door, a new restaurant opens up, and it's like, I don't know, Bill's Bizarre. I don't know. I haven't got another word for hot dogs.
Oh, man. Wait, what was yours was a Willie's Wild Wiener?
Yeah. What if it'll be like
Bill's Bad Bratwursts.
Oh, there we go. I'll be like, what? What do you mean? That's so close.
That would.
Bill's Bad.
Then I know. No, if that happened, I know something weird.
I would know that there's a God and he's fucking with us.
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody's either listening in, or there's a God that's messing with us, or like every time we record, we're in some weird way where we make a ripple effect of changing reality.
Yeah, seriously, the radio waves coming off our podcast feed.
Yeah, exactly. But I do want to say, once this place does open up, I am going to go there, and I will report back, and I will let you know if the food's even good.
Okay,
right?
hey, please.
But if I swear, if I see something, the word breakfast bomb or anything on their menu, I know someone's messing with us.
Breakfast bowls are pretty common.
Well, breakfast bowl, but if the word bomb is in there,
was there another item? An SOS. If there's an SOS.
Oh, if there's you're right. SOS. Yeah. Oh. Man, but I would be happy if there was SOS because there's no place around here I know of that serves
except for Tom's.
Exactly, man. They better give me some discounts.
Tom's, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
But dude, could you imagine?
Sir, can anybody hear me? Please, hear me. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, this is Fritz Frivolous. I need your help. I'm stuck. Somehow stuck inside the minds of Will and Tom. I need to escape. Please support them and their podcast. You can go to patreon.com/dude-could-you-imagine or leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. Distract them long enough for me to break free. You can even leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Again, don't forget about me, Fritz Frivolous.
Hello, everybody. This is Tom here.
This is Will.
We just want to let you know that we are taking a little break from the DCYI trading card giveaway for our patrons.
The reason is because we're starting a new contest for everybody.
Yes, everybody will be involved in this new contest. I feel like it's going to be radio DJ. Like, you're involved and you're involved.
So Tom's brother-in-law did something really cool, and he made a very, very nice looking custom Dude Could You Imagine glass with matching glass coaster. It has the Dude Could You Imagine. Go ahead and describe it.
Yeah, so it does have like it says Dude Could You Imagine on there. I believe there's like certain parts of our logo that's imprinted or like that he has placed onto the glass. The one cool thing I really did like about it is like when you look into the bottom of the glass, it has the eye. The eye
nice.
That's in our logo. Yeah, I thought that's so cool.
Does it have the faces or the tower? I don't remember.
I believe it has the.
We'll be posting pictures soon.
Yeah, I believe it has the part of the head, like the silhouettes.
Oh, that's awesome.
That are in the logo too.
That's cool.
But yeah, it looks cool. I really like it.
And he was nice enough to let us give it away to you guys.
Yeah, my brother-in-law Andrew. And you know what? We will also be letting you know he makes a lot of other stuff, crafts and everything like that, and he does sell them. He does really well. So we will be posting and letting you guys know where to get more stuff from him if you'd like. But this contest, this is how it works. It's going to run from April 4th to May 4th, and all you got to do is share your favorite episode of Dude Could You Imagine, whether it's from season 1 or season 2. Share it on your social media. You can share it if you share it on Twitter. Go ahead and use the hashtag Dude Could You Imagine. If you share it on any other social media, just make sure you show us proof. And you can send that proof over to dudecouldyoimagine@gmail.com.
And there will be 2 other ways that you can also enter. If you feel like you can leave us an Apple Podcast review, go ahead and do that. That'll enter you in the contest. If you've already left us a Apple Podcast review, good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, you're retroactively already entered in the contest.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
And another thing that you can do is leave a Spotify rating and show us the proof. And if you do so, we will enter you in the contest. And if you want to do all 3 things, if you want to go ahead and share us on social media, leave an Apple Podcast review, and leave a Spotify rating, well, guess what? You just entered 3 times. You have 3 times the chance to win.
Yes, just don't forget on Twitter, use the hashtag #DudeCouldYouImagine. And if you're doing it any other way, send your proof over to dudecouldyoimagine@gmail.com. Good luck, everybody. The podcast you have just heard are the imaginings from the highly evolved minds of the extra-dimensional beings, Will and Tom. It has been translated into a format more easily understood by the human mind. Interpret it as you will. Should you find yourself seeking more answers to life's most intriguing mysteries, you can show your support by becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/DudeCouldYouImagine. You can also leave an Apple Podcast review. You can subscribe to us on Instagram at dude_couldYouImagine, on Twitter at DCYImagine, and on our YouTube channel, where you can leave a like and a comment. We can also be reached through our email, dudecouldYouImagine@gmail.com. We leave you now so that you may gather your thoughts until we meet again to ponder the meaning of the cosmos and ask, Dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? But then there's others who do like you said, like maybe porn, where they don't really have like a written out script. It's just, someone's trying to get inspired to make this type of film.
I have the god of film and the god of books and the god of interpretive art, and then over here, Bob, the god of porn.
Yeah.
He's part of the fucking pantheon. You put respect on his name.
But he's
doing good work out here.
He's some guy in the dark corner of Mount Olympus with the dirty t-shirt on.
He's got a pencil. He's like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, I don't want to go talk to Bob.
Every time somebody wants to go talk to him, they're always like, no, you go talk to him. I talked to him last time. Like, you know what I mean?
He's kind of weird.
Yeah. It smells funny in his corner.
Jesus.